whole thing from the beginning was trying to create a sense of place that people studying the law would feel like they were doing it. So the idea was to try and engage and give some kind of a pride of place that the people could relate to and feel like I'm in a law school and the buildings represent that in some way. The most important thing about the environment was to make the students feel like their topic was addressed by the environment they're in. So it's not the lobby of the Sheraton Hotel, it's something else. So I think this was about modesty, the power of the law, what it meant. I think it works. I think over the years I run into graduates of this place who are now fancy lawyers. They tell me this was an important experience for them. I've always had historical elements in my work. This was inspired by Rome. The Roman Forum with the columns, freestanding, the residual of the temple. It was the simplest thing to do. We did it in phases, so the Orange Building was built first. The symbolism of the law, I reduced it as far as I could, and it became columns. For very little money, you could just click and get the sense of what was going on here. Klaus and Kosha Oldenburg, years later, they remembered the precariousness of the law thing, and so they made the toppling ladder as a symbol of the precariousness. If you go to Rome and you see the government buildings, they're plaster and they're all painted warm colors, like that one, the peachy color, and this one, and then there's light yellow. So the color on there now is defensive because of fading. So whoever decided which color it was wanted to be sure. So when it fades, it'll be the right color. Well, it was simple at the time, and it still holds up. Its simplicity is still here. It's not fancy materials. It's not suggesting that you need marble courthouses and things. You can talk about the law under a tree like the ancients did. Well, that was the idea, that it was a tree of learning. It was a small tree when I planted it, so it didn't look like this. But now you can see how it works. You can sit here and use it kind of as a classroom. No, I thought it would be a hangout place and symbolize the center, the heart of the campus, and it was the tree of learning and the simple idea of teaching under a tree. The facades of the building were important to create the sense of a place. Even the garage has cutouts like the windows here to make it feel less like a garage. The tradition of classical architecture is that they have a significant entry stair that's expressed on the building. It is the way people circulate and meet each other. So these stairways are meant to be meeting places. They could have been inside. They could have been placed inside the building, but I expressed them on the outside. The thing about building is it can be lifeless. So how do you make it a living thing? How do you give it feeling and form and passion and love and all those things that I worry about? This was one way of doing that. Certainly, you make a stairway to heaven, there's always the reminder that you might not get there. And it seemed like Icarus was a nice symbol, which we all use in all of our lives, as the symbol of don't be too hotshot because you'll overstep yourself. It's all about carrying forward the idea of a town that's built for law, because there was nothing like it. And I think that's what we were trying to do in the total, make it a user-friendly place where people would hang out and talk and argue about their classes. The first time I went in that classroom, there was a class in session, and I walked in and they all stood up and applauded me. I loved that. I'll never forget that. It was a nice thank you.